was living here. He'd been here for a couple of months in 1870 though, when he decided to take his family to Hobart. So he took the ship down here. Remember, it was only a 10-hour journey, and they had a short holiday there. But while over there, he received a message. They had a system of signal stations on top of hills, all the way from here to Hobart, and it was called semaphore. Different lanes like that would give a message, and they could get a message to Hobart in 15 minutes. And the message was for the Reverend Hayward to come back urgently. He left his wife and family behind to continue their holiday, so he took the ship and he came back. He got back about this time of night. He walked up through the settlement, came into his house here, and then he went right out the back into the kitchen. Because in those days, kitchens were always built as separate to the main house. Does anybody know why? Where do most fires start in houses even today? In kitchens. And that's why kitchens were always built separately. Plus, if you had domestic servants, you didn't want them in your main house all the time, did you? So that's why there were separate buildings for kitchens and laundries and the like. So he went out the back and he sat down and he was enjoying his supper. And as he's enjoying his supper, there's a knock at the door. Who could this be? He thought, not expecting anybody. So he went to the door, opened the door. Oh, Dr. McCarthy. Dr. McCarthy, why are you here? Well, I came to welcome you back. But how did you know I was here? Because I saw the light shining upstairs. What are you talking about? I haven't been upstairs. Oh yes, that's why I'm here. Your light is shining from your bedroom window up there. But it can't be, because I haven't been there. It wasn't shining when I came up. Oh yes, it is now. So the two men went up the stairs, got to the door, looked inside, total darkness. Dr. McCarthy couldn't believe it. But it was shining, I tell you, it was shining. The next day, lots of other people here at Port Arthur also reported the light shining upstairs on that particular night. And ever since then, the light upstairs coming on, unexplained, has been a constant experience here. Now that was the first ever recorded ghostly experience, and it happened with the upstairs light here to Dr. Hayward. Some other things also happened to the Hayward family, including another time in the next year when Dr. Hayward was called away. And at this stage, the maid moved inside the house while Dr. Hayward was, Reverend Hayward was away, sorry. And the family were hearing footsteps during the night, including the maid. In fact, so many, the maid got so freaked out, she refused to stay in the house. She went and slept in the kitchen outside. And the footsteps continued, and they appeared to be approaching the stairs, and they appeared to be coming up the stairs. They were unexplained because it was quite frightening for the children and Mrs. Hayward. And she even thought, well, maybe it could be a convict creeping around in the house during the night. So she was determined, to try and find out exactly what it was, and this is what she did. She tied some pieces of string across the steps of the stairs going up. And about every second or third step, she tied a piece of string and just pinned it in there, thinking that if someone's going to come up, they're going to trip the string, and then I'll know. And then sure enough, one night, she heard the footsteps approaching the stairs. She came out of the bedroom with a lantern. She stood at the very top of the stairs with her lantern. Couldn't quite see the bottom because it was still very murky. But she could hear the footsteps ascending the stairs. And then she could hear the ping as the first string went. Continuing on, the second string went. About halfway up the footsteps were still coming. And then by this stage, she actually saw the third string break in front of her eyes. But was there anybody there? No, there wasn't. The footsteps continued breaking the fourth string and the fifth string right to the very top as Mrs. Hayward stepped back. Ah! Screaming, the footsteps turned around and descended back down here. So that was another ghostly experience that befell the Hayward family.